What's up, everybody? Justin Nault here. So we're going to discuss the ketogenic diet. I'll give you basically a crash course of it. I'll tell you my favorite parts about the ketogenic diet, who I think the ketogenic diet is right for, and I'll also explain where I think people are going wrong with the ketogenic diet, because it's very easy to make mistakes and do things incorrectly and actually have it, I guess it can negatively impact your health depending on how poorly you do it. So we'll talk about the ketogenic diet. That's going to lead us into my number 2 question, which is cholesterol. So let's start with step 1. That's going to be the number 1 topic that we have, which is the ketogenic diet. So the ketogenic diet has a ton of misconceptions around it. And I kind of blame podcasters, honestly, because there's a lot of guys, Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, all these really, really popular podcasters who I like. I'm fans of theirs. I like them. I like everything they're doing. But they talk about the ketogenic diet as if they're doing it when they're really just following a low carbohydrate diet. So let's talk about the difference between keto and paleo. I own a paleo nutrition company. Let me start by saying that too. For people who don't know me, my name is Justin Nault, and I am the founder of the Clovis culture, and I invented all of the formulas for the perfect paleo powder. I'm also a certified nutritional therapist. I'm a certified specialist in sports nutrition. I've worked with dozens and dozens of clients with nutrition and fitness in a one-on-one setting. I work with professional athletes, MMA fighters, that kind of thing. So I build custom plans for people who want to improve their lives in one way or another based on their goals. So that's it. We'll get credentials out of the way, all that nonsense. I don't really care much about credentials. Some people do. So cool. That's how I can tell you some advice, right? So keto versus paleo. I eat a strict paleo diet. I have for 5 or 6 years. Paleo being you're just removing unprocessed foods. You don't have soy. You don't have any grains. You don't have dairy. And paleo doesn't actually limit carbohydrates or sugar. That's the big difference, is paleo is not automatically keto, and keto is not automatically paleo. So let's kind of break that down, right? I believe that you should eat a paleo-friendly diet. Where keto and I differ is keto does allow dairy, because dairy is very high fat, and it works well for a ketogenic diet. So people compare the ketogenic diet to Atkins, so let's dive into that as well. Low carb is not the same as ketogenic. You are not ketogenic unless you are in a state of ketosis. Now, in the beginning, it's going to be difficult to do that, because an average person, average American, eats about anywhere from 300 to 600 grams of carbohydrates in a day. Literally, 300 to 600. It's the biggest macronutrient in America, period. So you're talking 300 to 600 grams of carbohydrates. If I were to put you on a strict ketogenic protocol, I would have you at 30 grams or less, male or female. 30 grams or less. Females, probably 30 grams or less. Males, I might even take you to 20 grams or less. You're talking 10 to 20 times less carbohydrates than an average American eats. This is not a low carbohydrate diet. A low carbohydrate diet is anything 100 grams net carbs and below. So if you don't know what a net carbohydrate is, you take total carbohydrates on nutrition facts. Just below it, you're going to see dietary fiber. Take total carbs minus dietary fiber, you end up with net carbohydrates. These are usable carbohydrates. Your body can't digest fiber, so it doesn't count. There's a long story there. Your gut bacteria does digest it, but your gut bacteria is not a part of you, because the inside of your stomach is actually outside of you. Mind blown, right? It's crazy. Think of a tunnel going through water. You're not in the water, you're in the tunnel. So anything in your digestive system is not actually in your body until your body allows it to pass into your bloodstream. Then it's in your body, right? So your bacteria digest fiber. Net carbohydrates, total carbs, minus dietary fiber, total net carbohydrates. I'm gonna have you under 30, maybe under 20. A low carbohydrate diet is anything under 100. Now, to be clear, you can eat a diet that has less than 100 grams net carbohydrates, and you probably will lose fat, especially if you were eating 300 to 600 grams of carbohydrates. So this all or nothing approach where people are like, man, I need to go and eat no carbohydrates at all because I'm keto, and you were eating 600 grams of carbs, good luck. You're gonna fail. I'm just telling, that's what it is. I deal with people every single day. The compliance rate is incredibly low when you make a massive jump like that. So if you don't need to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, which I do with people on a regular basis, I'm gonna cut 11 pounds off of an MMA fighter next week. I'll probably do it in 3 days. So it's incredibly easy to cut weight off of people if you're willing to be very, very strict, but it's not fun. That's the difference. So if we're talking about lifestyle change, it has to be sustainable, right? So if you're eating 300 grams of carbs, switch to 100 grams of net carbs and see how you feel, right? And just take it from there. So that's keto versus low carb. Low carb, I recommend a low-carb paleo diet. No soy, no dairy, no gluten, no grains, no beans. Go strict paleo. Take it under 100 grams net carbohydrates. See how you feel, right? A ketogenic diet is used in my practice. I use it therapeutically. If you're dealing with an autoimmune disease or leaky gut or some real serious problem, then I think you should do a ketogenic diet. Ketogenic diet has been proven to help epilepsy in children. It's been proven to help Alzheimer's. It's been proven to help cancer. There's a great book. Check out the book called Tripping Over the Truth, The Metabolic Approach to Cancer, which is absolutely mind-blowing how, I mean, you can essentially beat cancer just through the ketogenic diet. And this is proven over and over and over and over, but doctors aren't allowed to say it to you because of bureaucracy. It's horseshit, but whatever. So anyway, that is ketosis. Now, you get into a state of ketosis when your body is burning fat for fuel, but your body can't burn fat directly. It has to convert fat into something called ketones, which is why you see a lot of companies now selling exogenous ketones. If you think you're gonna buy exogenous ketones, shove your body into ketosis and burn fat, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna burn the ketones. The ketones will be in your bloodstream, so if you prick your finger and you take a blood strip and see what your ketone levels are at, your ketone levels are gonna be jacked because you just drank a bunch of ketones. You're not taking your body fat, converting it into ketones and burning it. You're wasting your money. I hate saying that because I know founders of companies that sell ketones and they're great people and they're trying to help people and their products are actually awesome if used correctly. I use them with athletes a lot. When you first go keto, you're gonna hit what's called the keto flu. You're gonna detox from carbohydrates. All carbohydrates are sugar. So this is one thing that I wanna clear up real quick about the ketogenic diet. I had somebody talk to me about how they were eating the ketogenic diet. They were like, oh yes, I'm in ketosis and I only eat chicken and brown rice. So my eyeballs kind of popped out of my head and I said, you're literally 50% of your diet is carbohydrates. What are you talking about? You're in ketosis. But people don't know. They think that there's healthy carbs and then there's unhealthy carbs, right? All carbohydrates are sugar. All of them. Eventually, at some point throughout the digestive process, they are going to be converted to glucose and pushed out into your bloodstream. Now, glucose is going to fuel muscle cells. It's going to fuel fat cells as well. Sugar makes you fat. Fat doesn't make you fat. Now, we're going to get there, but I need to break this down with the ketogenic diet. Ketogenic diet, you can't just cut carbs and say I'm keto, right? If you want to get into a state of ketosis, you have to cut carbohydrates. Yes, like I said, you want to be under 30, maybe even 20 for guys, net carbohydrates per day. The other thing that you have to do is there's two sources of energy, right? So you have carbohydrates and you have fat. These are the two things that your body can burn for fuel. Now, if you have them at an even playing field and you just go whoosh and drop all your carbs, your body is going to have a severe lack of energy. And what it's going to do is going to start breaking down its own muscle tissue in a process called gluconeogenesis. And it's going to break down your muscle tissue to create glucose that it can burn. So what you have to do is if you're dropping the carbohydrate content, you have to up the fatty acid content. Now I'm talking healthy fats, like polyunsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats. You're talking about avocados, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, grass-fed beef. Grass-fed butter is the only exception I make to dairy. There's no lactose in it. It's a long story. We won't get into all that, right? But if you're lowering your carbohydrates, you have to up your healthy fats. You have no choice, or your body's just not going to work properly. That's where people get screwed up. They say, I'm keto, I eat almost no carbohydrates, and you find out they're eating 30 grams of fat a day. Like for me, if I'm ketogenic, I'm eating somewhere between 150 to 160 grams of fat a day. You're talking 70, 80, 90% of your entire daily caloric intake is fatty acids. It's difficult to do. It's not fun, so you have to watch your protein intake as well because of gluconeogenesis. So you have to limit protein mildly. I'd say maybe 20 to 30% of your daily calories. Your carbohydrates are going to be under 10% of your daily calories, and your fat's going to be skyrocketed 70, 80, 90% of your daily calories. It's pretty tough to do. And you really don't know if you're in ketosis unless you're pricking your finger and doing a blood draw. There's a company called Keto Mojo. Keto Mojo has gotten this to the point where you can do it for a little over $1 a day, I think. But if you're using Precision Extra, I used Precision Extra when I was in nutritional ketosis for like 2 months or something. It was crazy. I was doing blood draws every single day. So people go get the P sticks. The P sticks are completely ineffective after 3 or 4 weeks. Once your body starts, the P sticks only measure extra ketones that you don't need, that your body's flushing out. So it's kind of useless, honestly. So unless you're pricking your blood, you don't know if you're in ketosis. You don't know if you're on a ketogenic diet. Really, that's all there is to it. So it's a little tricky. So I'm gonna give you my best resources for this. The first guy that I would look up is a friend of mine. His name's Rob Wolf, ROBBWOLF. Now, any resources that I give you during this little session, I'm gonna put them in the comments section. So if you share this to your page or anything after the fact, we can give you links to all these things. Rob Wolf has a Keto Masterclass, Keto, K-E-T-O, Masterclass. I'll give you a link if you just look up Rob Wolf Keto Masterclass. That's probably the best resource that I can give you because Rob is freaking brilliant. He's a mastermind in everything, including jiu-jitsu, and beats me up, and it's unfair. But anyway, so check out Rob Wolf's Keto Masterclass. It's fantastic. He also will break down the importance of electrolytes, which a lot of people miss in a ketogenic diet. The other one is Mark Sisson, just came out with a book called The Keto Reset. So check out The Keto Reset. It's fantastic. Mark has a lot of stuff really geared towards runners. So if you're a distance runner, this will explain how you can literally change your life by becoming fat adapted. My fighter, my MMA fighter, man, she felt like shit the first week, and I gave her exogenous ketones to help her get through it, just to feel a little bit better. And a week later, she's coming back to me telling me, no matter what my coaches do, they can't make me tired. Literally, I'm running 10 miles, I'm running sprints uphill, I'm rolling 3 times a day, I'm doing strength and resistance training, and just feeling great. You will reach the tipping point. That's another big problem with the ketogenic diet. People don't give it enough time. They're like, I was keto for 5 days, and I felt crappy, and that Justin guy is full of shit. Right? That's what happens. It's just, no, man, you're kind of being lazy. Kind of being lazy, right? I don't know. That's tough. That's something that I have my approach working with clients. It's like, man, if you don't want to do it, I tell you, then move on, find somebody else. Sorry, I'm not the guy for you. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm just trying to tell you what works. So Rob Wolf, Keto Masterclass, Mark Sisson, The Keto Reset. Like I said, you're gonna eat a lot of fat in the ketogenic diet. So this brings me to my next most asked question, and that is cholesterol. Cholesterol.